Welcome back to Eminem Week here on the Zay Zone. Today, we're going to talk about how Eminem bounced back. So, we started off this week talking about his Slim Shady years, which were the beginning of his mainstream career, his prime. But today, we're going to talk about how he bounced back after many dark years, facing his demons and, nearly dying, you could say. So, yeah, let's. Before we get to Relapse, the album, let's talk about a tragic 2006 Eminem had faced. But before that, we got to talk about him and Kim reconciling. So, in late 2005, Eminem and Kim reconciled, and they began another relationship. They got married in January of 2006, and unfortunately, the relationship ended in April 2006. During that time, too, Eminem lost his friend Proof, and Proof passed away from a shooting in a Detroit club, and that brought Eminem into a deep depression, and that was seeing Eminem at his lowest point. His weight ended up going over 200 pounds, and he became unrecognizable to his fans, and he relapsed, literally. Eminem kept struggling with all of these factors for the rest of 2006 and 2007. After a horrible 2007, Eminem ended off the year in the hospital where he suffered an overdose from methadone. The overdose was nearly fatal. According to Eminem himself, he was 2 hours away from leaving the earth. After the overdose, he saw himself falling back into the same hole, and he stopped himself for real this time and asked music legend Elton John for help since he suffered from addiction himself at one point. And Eminem had been sober since April 20th, 2008. After he got clean, Eminem went to make music, and that's when production on Relapse began. Relapse was released on May 15th, 2009. It wasn't showing much love from critics and some fans. However, it sold 600K in the first week, and it featured hits like We Made You and Beautiful. Before we get to Recovery, we must talk about Relapse too. Eminem had written and recorded too many songs, and some didn't make the cut for Relapse, and that was when Relapse 2 came into the picture. And it was intended to be released later in 2009, but due to the poor reception of Relapse, it was scrapped and most of the project is lost, excluding the tracks that were added into Recovery. Recovery was released on June 18th, 2010. The album was leaded by the single Not Afraid. Recovery sold over 700K in the first week. Recovery became the best-selling rap album of 2010 and the best-selling album of the year as well. Other hits from Recovery include Love the Way You Lie featuring Rihanna and No Love featuring Lil Wayne. Recovery was most definitely a critical and commercial success. Despite that, some Eminem fans didn't like it due to the more poppy sound and the overall feel of the album or just cringy songs in general. Earlier, I didn't talk about the D12 album because I personally just forgot. So just in case you want to give me for that, I'm missing something else this time, okay? In between Recovery and the Marshmallows LP 2, Eminem and Royce the 5'9" made an EP called Bad Meets Evil, Hell the Sequel. And it had amazing songs. Some that were in the the EP, included was Fast Lane and Lighters with Bruno Mars. April 2012, it was announced that a new Eminem album began production. This later became the March Madness LP 2, which featured hit songs like Berserk, Revival, Rap God, and The Monster featuring Rihanna. The album opened up its first week with nearly 800,000 copies sold. Here's the rumor that I heard, so take it with a grain of salt. Apparently, the March Madness LP 2 could have opened up with nearly 1 million copies sold, but since Billboard didn't count streamed at the time, it wasn't able to happen. But yeah, just take that with a grain of salt because it's not actually confirmed. After the release of the March Madness LP 2, Eminem did Rapture 2014 and did the Monster Tour with Rihanna. He was also preparing to write and produce songs for Southpaw, in which he was supposed to star in but wasn't able to. After that, Eminem pretty much vanished from the public, and we'll talk more about that in the next video.